On a cold morning, January 17, 1977, a man walked calmly toward an abandoned canned food factory in Draper, Utah. His name was Gary Gilmore. 36 years old, convicted murderer. And in just minutes, he'd be the first person executed in the United States after a 10-year moratorium on the death penalty. But what Gary didn't know was that his death wouldn't just mark a controversial return of capital punishment. It would unknowingly give birth to one of the most iconic slogans in human history. Surrounded by armed guards, Gary was escorted into the lifeless shell of the factory. No machines, no noise, just an empty room. And a single wooden chair pressed against the far wall. Gary didn't flinch. He walked across the concrete floor and sat down. No hesitation. The guards strapped his wrists and ankles to the chair. And just a few feet away, behind a large black curtain, 5 rifle barrels waited for the signal. 5 holes in the curtain, 5 men behind them. A firing squad, handpicked by Gary himself. His crime had shocked the country. His trial had been a media storm. But Gary didn't want appeals. He didn't want mercy. He rejected life in prison. He wanted death. And he wanted it by firing squad. The chaplain read his last rites, then asked him, "Is there anything you'd like to say?" Gary looked up, expression calm, and replied, "Let's do it." And just like that, it was over. Gary Gilmore was dead. Fast forward 10 years. 1987, a young marketing executive named Dan Wieden is brainstorming at a small Portland ad agency. Dan and his team had just landed a new client, a scrappy athletic shoe company with bold ambitions. The name? Nike. Dan believed in their potential, but they were missing something, a voice, an idea, a slogan that could connect athletes and everyday people alike. Ideas flew across the table, but none of them hit hard, none of them felt right. Dan sat back, frustrated. Then, out of nowhere, it hit him. A memory, a flashback, not of a product, but a man, a factory, a chair, a chilling final phrase. "Let's do it." Dan tweaked it, just slightly, changed one word. And just like that, lightning in a bottle. Just do it. 3 simple words born from a man's final breath became a rallying cry for generations. Just Do It would launch Nike into the stratosphere, transforming it into a global powerhouse and inspiring millions to chase their limits. Who would have thought the world's most powerful motivational slogan came from the lips of a man who had given up everything? Sometimes inspiration comes from the most unlikely places. And sometimes a legacy begins at the end of another. Just do it.